for me, Joe, every offseason, there's about, there's the elite that get all the attention, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia on down the line. But there's always about 3 or 4 teams that intrigue me. And in this offseason, Tennessee is one of those 3 or 4 teams across the nation that I'm like intrigued.
Well, and there's a good reason for that, because the reason, and one of the biggest reasons why I believe that the Tennessee fan base is so focused on this football team is the moment that Arch Manning made his decision and he chose to go to Texas, nobody in Tennessee was upset about it. And it's because they're looking at their team now and they're thinking, you know what, we're putting something together that's very good. Do I think they're one of the top 2 or 3 football teams in the SEC? No, not right now. Do they have that potential? Yes, with a very smart play by Hendon Hooker. And I think that Hendon Hooker is very close to being that Taj Boyd of your Clemsons, where he was the first quarterback that kind of got the system on the right track. And he got Clemson back to being a better football team and on the right direction of a smart quarterback that's not going to turn the football over. And then right after him is when Deshaun Watson came in. And then after Deshaun Watson, then, you did have to go and you had your Trevor Lawrence and that sort of stuff. But at the same time, there had to be that first quarterback that started the process of good quarterbacks coming to your university. At Alabama, you look at it, AJ McCarron was a good quarterback, but if you look at AJ McCarron and you compare him to the last 2 or 3 quarterbacks that Alabama has put on the football field, he's not better than any of them. And I think that there's going to be a potential for, with Hendon Hooker and the ability that he's had to put this football program in the spotlight, with a win against Florida, with a win down in Baton Rouge against LSU. No, and depending on what happens against Alabama and Georgia, you now have this ability for the quarterback position to be sexy at Tennessee. And that is where you could be looking at a Hendon Hooker being the cornerstone of what Tennessee could be about in the next 5 to 10 football seasons.